Hello friends, I've got a bunch of very cool books back from CGC. I've got some Marvel books, got some Image books, I even got a DC book in this batch right here. Got some pretty cool books. I've got some rare newsstands. I've got even a print error book to show you today. So let's see what kind of grades we can get back this time. The first book is Spawn #1 by Image Comics. And this one is the printing error. Now, it's not listed by CGC, and I'm not even sure it's really rare or anything like that. It might be even a 50-50 deal on the non-printing error books. I'm just not sure. If anybody knows out there, please leave a comment below. But it's on the inside cover, and it's just a coloring issue. I'll put a picture of it on the screen in case you don't know what that is. But this book, when I got it in, had some deep dents all the way through the entire book. And yeah, so I was able to get all of the dents out, and hopefully it held, and we were able to get a decent grade. Now, I am expecting to get a 9.8 on this book. I had it as a 9.8. So let's just see. What does CGC think? Do they agree? Was there any reversion here? Because we'll know immediately if it's not a 9.8. I don't see it right now from what I'm looking at, but let's just find out. What does CGC think about this book? Okay, 9.8. Phew. Now that's probably the least defect book that I've got in my entire batch today. So if that one did not get a 9.8, we probably need to worry, right? So the next book is, I've been doing a lot of Daredevils, as those of you following the channel do know. And I do like these newsstands. This one is 181, Death of Elektra. Punisher's in this, a couple other characters of interest. So yeah, I mean, I love these yellow covers. So I don't know what it is about yellow covers, man. I just absolutely love them. So this one's a key, and it's got quite a bit of value in a newsstand. And this one was a borderline 9.8, 9.6. I think it can go either way. So are we going to have Harsh Harry, or are we going to have Loose Larry, which we're hoping for today? Because this is going to be a good bellwether, because this is right in the middle. Half the time this is probably going to get 9.8, and half the time it's probably going to get 9.6. I'll be fine with either, but the value is really in, of course, the 9.8. But yeah, $18 for this potential 9.8 book, so I'd be doing very well if it actually gets that 9.8. So let's see what CGC thinks. Yes. Okay. Very cool. White pages, 9.8 newsstand. This, I'm doing pretty good. I mean, $18... 30-ish into CGC, shipping, all that stuff. We're about 50 bucks into this book. I'll probably be able to sell it for at least 300. Very happy to get off to a good start here. We got our two 9.8s right off the bat. So let's just stay with the Daredevil theme, and let's stay with the yellow cover theme as well. I actually like this cover even better. So this one is a first appearance of Nuke, and it's a newsstand, which I did not find any sales of newsstands in a 9.8. So if I did happen to get the 9.8 here, I don't know how to price this thing. Really, I have no idea. I guess I could run it through an auction, or I could just kind of guesstimate it. Maybe I'll just start, at the top of the envelope of what I think it could be, and then we'll lower it from there. But let's cross that bridge when we get there, because this is a little bit nicer as far as defects go than the last one. So, but it is pretty close. I could see this getting 9.6 some of the time, but just looking at this thing, wow, this book, holy crap. Okay, so I'm fully expecting a solid chance at least at 9.8. So let's see if CGC agrees. Yeah, 9.8. So, yeah, put in the comments, what do you think this book's worth? What's a fair market value on this book based on, I use GP analysis to come up with my values. And so just let me know what you think. Anybody want this book? What would you pay for it? I have no idea. I do have a buyer that I've dealt with before that loves these newsstand Daredevils, so I might offer it to him and see what he wants, if he wants it. Let me go over here and turn this press off real quick. So yeah, the next book is a personal DC favorite of mine. I bought a copy of this off the stand when I was a kid. It was not a newsstand. But it did get the 9.8, my childhood copy. And I sold it because I wanted to get a newsstand copy for the PC. any 9.8. Not saying this is a 9.8 because this one is borderline again, actually. And I looked at the values on this on a newsstand. It looks like to me it's undervalued. As of now, though, I'm very happy to get this on my wall as a PC book because I did read this and buy it as a kid off the stand. What does CGC think? Are we going to get another 9.8 or are we going to finally get our first, well, I don't want to say finally, but are we going to be disappointed here for the first time? Yeah, 9.8. Very cool. Not going to complain about that whatsoever. Once again, yellow cover. I didn't intend that to be right in a row there, but it did work out that way. So the next book was my favorite series as a kid, Transformers. Spider-Man was number 2, but Transformers was the first series that I ever bought as a kid because I collected Transformers. But yeah, I've been having trouble finding these 50, 60, 70, 80 books in high grade. And I don't know whether it's if it's rare because it's a low print run or what's going on. And once again, if you know something about why it's hard to find this range of books in a Transformers, let me know. I mean, was the series I know it wasn't winding down. They went up over 100, right? When I was a kid, I only collected 1 to 50. By the time it was at 50, I was getting close to being done collecting. I was getting into high school, other things, sports, you know. So yeah, this is number 52, and I saw it online, and it kind of just stood out among all the other books. And actually, I say that, but there are probably, at any given time, there's hardly any of these online, on eBay at least. There might be 2 or 3 copies at any given time, or even 0. So this one stood out to me. So I had to go ahead and pick it up. This one is probably a 9.6. It's probably, of all the books that I have in this unboxing, is probably the least nice, the most defects of any of them. But I thought, you know, I could see 20% of the time or something, or maybe if I get loose Larry, I could see this getting that 9.8. So this isn't a key or anything like that. It's just, I just love Transformers, and that's why I collect them. So yeah, let's see what CGC thinks of this Transformers number 52. Wow, that's kind of surprising. I was actually expecting 9.4 or 9.6 on that one. This thing has a lot of value. $300 or $400 in a 9.8, which is surprising to me. And it must be because it's just maybe hard to come by. And I believe it. So yeah, very happy. Probably a PC book. I'll consider maybe selling that. Maybe I'll price it high, and if it sells, it sells. If not, I'll be very happy to keep that in the PC. And this is a very interesting Transformers. This is number 70. For some reason, this cover just kind of creeps me out. I don't know why. So yeah, I didn't collect above 50 when I was a kid, so I never even got to this one. But yeah, so once again, it's extremely hard to find this book. And I was able to find this in a high grade, and it goes for a lot of money. I think the last sale of a 9.8 was like $800 or $900 on this book. It's just crazy because it must be rare. Who knew? At least rare, and maybe a 9.6 or 9.8. So this one is about on par with the last one, but maybe slightly fewer defects. So I don't know. If that one got a 9.8, what are we going to do on this one? Wow. Man, I think we're batting 1,000 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is 6 for 6. It just dawned on me that this is 6 for 6 on 9.8. So that's crazy. I mean, these are all high-grade books, and I thought all of them did have a 9.8 potential, but I guess we have loose Larry today, so not going to argue with that. All right, doing some Spider-Man now. Amazing Spider-Man, number 294. One of my favorite books, one of my favorite runs of all time. And yeah, this is the death of Kraven, so it is a key, and it's actually, I think, maybe even a little undervalued right now, so if you can pick up a copy, it might be a good time to do it with the market the way it is right now. This is a very nice copy. This is a solid 9.8 in my opinion. So this one was easy. It's basically a quick press, maybe a quick clean, whatever I had to do. And I think it's a solid 9.8. The CGC agree with me on that. They do. So we'll be glad to have another copy of this in the collection. I think I already have a 9.8, so I might be selling one of the two. Or I might just hold on to it and maybe the market will recover. Right now, the value is still pretty good. I mean, it's $300 or $400, but thought this book should be a $500 book. It's just my opinion. Maybe it was at one time in the boom. I'm not sure. But I don't think that's a bad investment at any point when you're collecting. Any Amazing Spider-Man around this time frame is going to do pretty good, I think. So we got Transformers number 2. I bought 13 copies of this, as you know. I got them in 3 packs. And I've gotten many 9.8s on this one so far. Sold many of them. I've lost count. It's 7 or 8, maybe even 9.8s on this so far. And this is once again an extremely nice copy. Ultra nice. Solid 9.8. Pushing the limits, could even get a 9.9 in some universes, although I do think there's a couple defects on it, man-made, that would probably hold it back. But yeah, it looks like a 9.9. Let's just put it that way. And if you were just to look at it, there is nothing on this book that you can see that's immediately visible to you. So once again, solid 9.8. If this one does not get a 9.8, something went wrong. So yeah, 9.8. This is the second nice book in the entire batch as far as defects go. The Spawn being number 1. We're getting to the big boy now, the last book. And I've gotten 5 so far. 5 9.8s of all the ones I've submitted. I'm just slowly spacing them out. I'm trying not to submit them all at once. I would hate to submit all 13 or 10 or whatever at one time and get Harsh Harry and have to resubmit and crack them all. So I'm just kind of just mitigating my risk and spreading them out over several submissions. So I think I've submitted, I think this is the eighth one, I believe. I've gotten 5 9.8s, 1 9.6, and 1 9.4. So what are we gonna add? Are we gonna add a 9.4, a 9.6, or a 9.8? Because I know there's no way it's worse than that one now. This one had some interesting stuff going on with it. I got on my notes that had severe bends to lower front cover. Right in this area. It was severely bent somehow in the poly bag because it was in a bag of 3 comics. Somehow it got dropped or whatever, and it was severely bent all the way through the whole book. I did a video on a Superman 366. It's up here on the wall. First time Todd McFarlane's name appears in a comic, and check that out. It's pretty cool. Got the lizard on the cover. It was pretty much that bad, and it took a long time to get that out. But I'm looking at it at angles in the light, and there's no reversion that I can see. So I was able to get 90% of it out. And the book was beautiful otherwise. It was a solid 9.8, but because I couldn't get that 100% out, and there was, I think, a couple color breaks it's somewhere, very tiny things. I don't know if it was just on the spine or somewhere on the book. I thought it was a borderline 9.6, 9.8. So my gut on this one is that it'll get a 9.8 35-40% of the time. That's just a wild guess. And probably 9.6. I am fine with the 9.6 in this book. So yeah, let's just reveal it. I've already got my chosen PC copy up here on the wall. That one's not going anywhere. I'm just going to keep one. Don't want to be greedy. I imagine I can hold on to all of the 9.8s, and probably 5 years from now would do extremely good. But I'd rather just have the money now, reinvest in some more books. I have a Punisher 129 that started out, I think, as a 7.0. If I remember correctly, I cracked it, and I'm hoping to get ultra high grade on that one. I'm a bit nervous because it's supposed to come tomorrow. So you might see this one and then maybe that one next week, unless I have something sandwiched in between. But I probably won't be able to wait depending on the grade that comes back. Once I record it, I'll have to share that one. So let's do the finale here. Last book, Transformers number 1. Can we finish the submission 100% 9.8s? Nervous. Okay, yeah. Woo! 9.8. Beautiful. That is a wrap. Oh man, that's a beautiful book. Wow. I almost want to keep this one as a PC book just because of what I went through on this book. That thing is gorgeous. Look at it. Isn't that crazy? That is one beautiful Transformers number 1. It even has the frayed edge from where it was originally printed. It's probably not going to show up on camera. Sometimes you see those little dangling things on the bottom of a cover from when it was printed. It's not showing up on camera probably. But all of these Transformers still have that. And it kind of gives you goosebumps when you look at it. Don't know what else to say. Looking forward to that Punisher 129 and the Giant Size X-Men 1 in the future. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. You'll see that one. I'm going to try to do more videos where I actually am working on books. And I find it very distracting to record. I really apologize for that. It's very distracting, and it takes literally 5 times as long to edit those videos and get them published. And I really, unfortunately, have so many hours during the day, and right now I'm kind of working on my process. I don't want to show a whole bunch of videos of me working on books when my process isn't perfected or whatever yet, because I don't want to have to take down videos later because something's obsolete or whatever. But I'm getting there. Results are good so far, but I don't think the process is 100% there yet. I did change a bunch of things recently. I've got some submissions coming back by next month with that new improved process, and we'll see what the books look like. And yeah, very happy with the results so far, but I know I can always improve the process of doing this and improve collecting in general, and that's kind of the goal of this channel. I mean, it's the name of the channel, right? So thanks for watching. Stay nerdy, and I'll see you in the next video.